A few minutes ago, representatives of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation officially stated that over the past 24 hours, the situation of the armed forces of Ukraine has deteriorated significantly in the Kursk, Pokrovsk, and even Vuhledar directions of the front. According to them, the Ukrainian army units are forced to defend themselves in almost all key areas. At the same time, representatives of the Russian Defense Ministry noted that the Ukrainian army units do not always manage to organize an effective defense and deter the advancing Russian forces. It is reported that in the Pokrovsk direction of the front, over the past 24 hours, Russian fighters of the group of troops under the designation center managed to take full control of the Selidovskaya coal mine and reach the railway. This success enabled Russian troops to go behind enemy lines in such settlements as Sukhorino and Selidovo. In Toretsk direction of the front, the liberation by Russian troops of the strategically important settlement of Nelipovka and the entry into the village of Leonidovka had a very negative impact on the morale of Ukrainian soldiers, who were holding the defense in Toretsk itself. So, a few minutes ago, war correspondents confirmed that the advancing Russian army units had significantly improved their positions in the central part of the city of Toretsk. At the moment, fierce fighting is being recorded in the city center. Against this backdrop, alarming news for the Ukrainian General Staff continues to arrive from the Vuhledar direction of the front. In particular, this morning, at 5 a.m. Moscow time, war correspondents reported that Russian fighters of the group of troops under the designation Vostok broke through the defenses of the Ukrainian army to the west of Vuhledar, in the area of the settlement of Prechestovka. It is reported that advancing Russian army units crossed the Kashlagak River and came close to Vuhledar from a westerly direction. Thus, the Ukrainian group of forces in Vuhledar found itself in a real semicircle. Moreover, as of September 24, 2024, numerous war correspondents also began to report on the outbreak of fighting in the urban area of Vuhledar. Commenting on the situation in the Vuhledar direction of the front, a Ukrainian nationalist and squad leader of the Aidar Nationalist Battalion, Stanislav Bunyatov, admitted that the Ukrainian army would soon have to surrender the city of Vuhledar to the Russians. According to him, Russian troops began to clamp the city in a pincer grip, forcing the units of the Ukrainian army to begin retreating in a northwesterly direction, to avoid being taken prisoners. Moreover, Stanislav Bunyatov also admitted that the Ukrainian High Military Command, including the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine General Syrsky, out of fear of Zelensky and his Western curators, provided the Kiev authorities with unreliable data on the situation on the battlefield. According to him, Ukrainian generals continue to hide the truth about the Ukrainian army's difficult situation in almost all directions of the front. Nevertheless, insiders in Kiev claim that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Alexander Syrsky, still had to spoil the mood of Vladimir Zelensky in the United States, and report to him about the breakthrough of Russian troops in Vuhledar direction of the front. Moreover, the influential Ukrainian Telegram channel Resident, citing its own sources in the Ukrainian General Staff, said that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported to Zelensky about the impossibility of further holding cities such as Vuhledar, Pokrovsk, and Selidovo. According to this Ukrainian Telegram channel, Vladimir Zelensky was absolutely furious when he was informed about the Russian army's breakthrough in the Vuhledar direction of the front. It is reported that the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, General Alexander Syrsky, during a conversation with Zelensky, bluntly stated that against the backdrop of the current situation, the Armed Forces of Ukraine has only one option left. In particular, General Syrsky said that Ukraine must gather all its remaining forces and break through the Russian army's defenses in the Kursk region, towards the city of Rilsk. At the same time, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine admitted that the Ukrainian army could also fail in the Kursk region if the Kyiv authorities refuse to begin mass mobilization of 20-year-old Ukrainian citizens, and if Zelensky fails to receive permission from the United States to use Western long-range weapons against targets inside Russia. By the way, judging by the incoming information from the Kursk region, the situation of the Ukrainian army in this direction of the front is indeed deteriorating rapidly. So, a few minutes ago, the commander of Spetsnaz Akhmat, General Apty Alatanov, officially announced that against the backdrop of heavy losses of the Ukrainian army units in manpower and equipment, Ukrainian soldiers began to flee their positions en masse, along the entire combat contact line. According to this Russian general, the Ukrainian army is in a state of shock, and cannot organize a new line of defense due to heavy losses in manpower and equipment. It is reported that this was made possible thanks to Russian combat aviation, which began operating in the Kursk region in non-stop mode. At the moment, we are witnessing confusion within the ranks of the Ukrainian army. The Ukrainian command is trying to organize new lines of defense and keep the remaining territories under control. However, due to heavy losses in manpower, groups of Ukrainian soldiers refuse to obey orders and voluntarily leave their positions. We started recording this mass flight of Ukrainian soldiers almost every day, General Apty Alatanov said during an interview with journalists from the TASS news agency. During his interview, the Russian general also noted that over the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian army lost 420 soldiers, 13 units of heavy equipment, 5 artillery pieces, 2 electronic warfare systems, 3 mine clearance vehicles, and 20 pickup trucks in the Kursk region. At the same time, General Apty Alatanov also acknowledged that despite the rapidly deteriorating situation of the Ukrainian army in the Kursk region, the Ukrainian High Military Command did not abandon attempts to break through the Russian defenses in the Glashovsky district, to finally go behind the enemy lines and hit the back of the Russian army, which continues its successful offensive in the Koronevsky district of the Kursk region. According to him, everything that is happening right now in the Glashovsky district of the Kursk region indicates that the Ukrainian command is preparing a second attempt to break through the Russian army's defenses near the village of Veseloy. At the same time, he expressed confidence that the Russian troops are ready for any development of events in this sector of the front, and that the Ukrainian army would again suffer heavy losses in manpower and equipment, and would be forced to retreat.